I went to 11. Yeah, we did. We're just about down from Toronto.
Hey there guys, this is Jim from Just Push Play, Ottawa's video game web show, and I've been very lucky today because I'm at the comic book shop on Bank Street here, and I get to interview the people behind Mirror Comics. So guys, just introduce yourselves so for the people out there.
I'm Chris Waddell, co-publisher and editor-in-chief Mirror Comics.
Alright.
I'm Josh Stafford, and I wrote the book Zomkies.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Barbara Felix, and I drew Zonkies.
Alright guys, so today is the official release of your latest comic. How many comics have you done here in Ottawa?
I think we have about 12 titles now on our list. It's been quite a few over the past couple of years, yeah.
Awesome. And you started out with which comic?
Well, the first comic that Mirror Comics ever produced was a 24-hour comic that Dominic had done called Like Never Before, Like Never Again, because he'll never ever do a 24 comic ever again. And Zomkies obviously is our current release.
Awesome. Okay. And what sort of advice do you guys have for people, say if they want to start their own comic here in Ottawa? Maybe you can explain a bit more of the journey, whoever wants to, explain that.
The journey of creating a comic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're aspiring to do your own comic book, obviously play to your strengths. If you're a good writer, I suggest you focus on the writing. If you're obviously a good artist, then focus on the art and team up with a good writer, because comics, you have to realize it's a team sport, right? So one person can do all the work, but it's obviously you'll have a much better product if there's if there's more than one contributor to a comic book. It's all the much better, because like I'll do the editing and some of the production. Dominic did the lettering and the design, while Josh wrote the comic and Barb did the inking and penciling. Yet the colorist lives in the United States, so we outsource for that as well. So I guess there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that worked on this book.
Right. And that's a full-time job too, because you told me about C2V. They didn't know the differences between different how the breakdown goes. So maybe explain that, how a comic, who does what, and sort of just give a lowdown for people.
Okay. Well, for instance, Josh would start writing the script, and he'd just write it a lot like a screenplay in a way, but a different format. So you do like page 1, panel 1. Josh enters the room and sees Barb sitting at the table signing a comic book. Josh is angry. It's Josh's book. How dare she take his credit? And then
table.
And then obviously he'd pass it over to Barb, and Barb would draw that, and she would probably add her own interpretation to the work as well, right? She would come back to Josh and say, well, this, then this, and this I thought would be kind of good additions to the page, and this is how I saw it. And once that was completed, we would take that digital file and send it to our colorist, who would add the color to the work. Then following that, we'd take it to our letterer, who would letter the work. And then you have to do the design of putting it all together, and then obviously the printing. So as you can see, there's a lot of man hours involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many hours do you think you spent just making one comic? Like how long do you think it takes, or how long did it take to make your latest one? I guess is a good question.
Well, I think I'd ask those guys. Yeah.
I have no idea the exact man hours, but I know for myself, like you started the idea like a year ago maybe, and then because this isn't a full-time thing, you kind of write it here and there. You have other projects, you have other jobs to do. I know on average, I believe for professional comic artists, but it's different. Sometimes they can do a book a month. Sometimes a writer, a popular writer at DC Comics, maybe does 3 scripts a month, but that's a lot. That's very full-time work. That's like he's not doing anything else. That's sitting at a computer.
What about sleep?
Yeah, no sleep. That's like working like 10 hours a day. So it's all different. But for an independent book like this, it adds that bit of extra time because everybody has day jobs or other obligations or other assignments. So this kind of fits in between the cracks.
Yeah. And family, and also video games, or just some downtime just to sort of keep the project going, right?
I mean, it's even drawn it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's her job after that, to draw it.
Like on average, what does it take you to do a page?
Oh man.
Like a day or 2 days?
It really depends on the page, and it really depended on in which stage we were in. Zonkeys was produced when I was basically in the last year of college.
Right.
So I had to deal with everything that college was throwing at me and drawing zonkeys on the side. So some pages I had to like flip, I don't know, I think 4 pages per week when I actually had time to work on them properly. And some other pages I actually spent like over 2 weeks on it because I had to go to it and work on it and then go back and work on so many other obligations I had. But that was a long thing.
Processing.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you've done quite a few comics. You said 12 already. Do you have like a favorite one? Like, is this your favorite one, or I'm not sure because I know as someone that. Yeah. If you can explain why, or.
Well, this is my first published comic book, so for me that's
Special, right?
It's special. Yeah, it really is kind of a dream come true, and especially what's great about nowadays with the guys at Mirror Comics and just with the technology available to independent guys today is that it looks like a real comic book. It is a real comic book.
Yeah.
Whereas if we were doing this 10 years ago maybe or so, you can still do a comic book, you can still tell your story, but it would be much more like, folding the paper at home and stapling it yourself or going to like a... So it's great nowadays. You can get a really professional book out of it.
And it's amazing how, just doing this show, I mean, it's amazing that I actually can have the technology to do this and, go around interviewing people in Ottawa. Saying 10 years ago, as you said, that probably wouldn't have been possible. I would have no money left in my bank account. So, so what was it like illustrating this comic Zonkeys? And, do you have a favorite moment? I guess that's a question for all of you guys here. If you had a favorite moment in doing this, or, just sort of, did you guys have any like special downtime, bring out the Nerf guns or anything? Or so let me know about that.
I guess one of my favorite pages is a spoiler. I can't really tell you about it,
okay.
but it's more to the end of the book. And I took a very long time doing it because I wanted it to look as good as I possibly could, but I can't really tell you what it is.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Just buy the comic and then, you can tell them.
I'm gonna guess it's what, page 23? 22? Page 22, I believe.
So around there.
Around page 22, it was basically my favorite moment in a comic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite moment of the comic was when we had it all wrapped up.
That's what I mean.
As the publisher, that's the best part.
Yeah,
I guess like actually holding it in my hand is also pretty close to first place.
It's sort of surreal that it's all done and you have a comic and it's your first comic, as you said. So what did you guys do to sort of persevere? I think that's something that people really would like to know, because it's pretty hard to stay on the ball on a comic or any sort of project. So what sort of motivated each of you guys, if I can ask you that? I'll just move this. Oops, sorry, my bad.
You broke it!
Oops, I have to pay for it now. All of them. All right, so yourself?
Well, you just have to believe in your abilities, and it's so cliche, right? But I mean, you really do have to focus on making deadlines for yourself. Like when I'm working on a book with someone else, right? I can tell these guys, well, these are the deadlines that we need to meet, right? So for them, it gives them a little bit of that extra, concrete deadlines. So they have to do it by then. But I mean, I put myself on that same track, I guess. Yeah, that same road, because I'll have to put myself in the same position. I need to get stuff done. Exactly. I have a project that I have to write by Halloween. Oh, wow. and I don't have a lot of time left. So I really have to start writing. So I mean, you really just have to focus on meeting your deadlines and sticking to it. And it's different well, you know what? Like writing and drawing in some ways aren't different in the sense that you just have to keep writing and keep drawing. Like the more and more you get into the habit of doing it, the more and more you're just going to figure out what works for you, right?
You find the ropes along the way.
Yeah, because as a writer, I kind of find you just find out your style and how you like to work and how you get the best results, you know? So you just really have to make sure that your life...
What works for you.
Yeah, your life kind of like is built around how can I maximize the most out of getting this done, right? Yeah.
And yourself?
Having a deadline's good. I don't really believe in writer's block because I think if you just sit down, you write. Even if you're writing garbage, you just write. So having that deadline, knowing there's something you're pushing yourself towards, because especially I think I'm not an artist, but if you're an artist or a writer or whatever, especially if you're doing it from home, if you're not working for a studio or working for an animation company or something, you're just at home, you know. So like you have to sit at that computer, you have to not watch TV, you have to not go do the dishes, you got to do it. So that's the biggest thing I think, especially for an independent thing like this, is because there's always an excuse. So getting that deadline and working on that other draft and everything, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Not rewatching, Firefly for the 10th time or something, right? Okay. And thank you very much. And yourself?
Motivation. I had plenty motivation for the fact that I had a very tight deadline on everything I had to do all the time. And so I was always working on something, and I kind of use what I like to give myself like some prizes. So for example, I have groups of friends from way back home in Brazil, and for example, they would be chatting on Skype and playing games, and I can't be part of it because I'm working, but I'm still listening to them playing. And then just like with me, when I finish these 2 pages, I will play so much video game for 5 minutes with these guys, and it will be great. And that's how I would like give myself a little bit of downtime, and I would go there and just relax a little bit, and then time to go back to work and time to keep doing what I had to do. So I guess persevere, give yourself like something to work for.
You set goals and reward yourself. Which is apparently like the best way of doing it. That's how I do it. I mean, 9 hours of work and I get 5 minutes of gaming time. So I mean, So I'm pretty strict with myself with how I do stuff too. I mean, pretty. Unfortunately, I have to remember to eat personally, but okay. And I guess I don't want to. Is this too soon to ask what you guys are working on next, or sort of no? Okay. So what are you guys planning on working on next?
Well, I'm still I'm still in the midst of production on my miniseries called Big Box Apocalypse, as in like the artwork's getting finished up. It'll see probably Diamond distribution next year. The cover is going to be done by Marco Rudy, who's working on Marvel Knights Spider-Man right now. Oh, nice. So that's going to be really exciting for us. We're in the midst of some production with Ghost King, Dominic Belsier's graphic novel, because we're going to be pitching that to Diamond next month. So that'll be out hopefully next year in the major market. And personally, like, what else am I working on? I have a couple stories that I'm doing right now. Nothing I want to talk about.
Okay. Nothing you can talk about right now.
Well, it's more like, you have ideas and you're writing stuff down. Yeah, exactly. But that's what we're doing right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I saw that comic, and I was, really excited to read it now. I should pick it up today, actually. And yourself?
I've got a bunch of things on the go, working on a couple different screenplays, working on a documentary project, and I have more Zomkies ideas, and I'm about halfway through a 40-page kind of sci-fi comic right now, just in the writing stages, so it's not anywhere near art or anything like that.
It's called Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
4.
And
it's been done already.
Win.
Is the main character Marty McFly?
Yes. Wait, no.
I have a friend named Marty, so you can change it to that.
But yeah, so a bunch of stuff on the go. But right now, I always like when you finish working on a film or an album or whatever, you got to keep on. You're like, hey, we're done. Yeah. But it doesn't end today. We have to now get it out there. So that'll be my focus for the next little while. Just shilling the word for Zomkies.
Getting it out there. Awesome. And yourself?
Right now I'm working on a crime noir comic for another writer. That's still like in early stages of production, like so it'll take a while for it to happen. But it will be out eventually, I guess. Other than that, I've been writing my own thing, but that won't see the light of the day for probably a couple years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'll take a while.
All right, guys. I don't want to take up too much of your time, and also we're sort of dominating the cover, so people can't walk up and look at the comics. So,
$200.
no. All right. Well, guys, is there any sort of last message that you guys want to get out to the rest of Ottawa, or the internets, because this is going to be up on the World Wide Web? So, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, pitch time. Oh, yeah, pitch time.
Go to www.mirrorcomics.com. Check out Mirror Comics on Twitter and on Facebook. You can order Zomkeys print on demand through our online store, and you can also order a digital file of it if you'd like in PDF format through My Digital Comics.
Right. Sweet. And yourself?
Everything he said. Pretty much the exact same thing.
But buy like 50 copies.
Buy all the copies.
And yourself?
I'm gonna take it like one step further. I'm gonna say buy 75 copies.
75 copies.
Just to be sure, Just
to make sure that,
Encase them in hard plastic and never open them.
Yes.
Be worth.
One day they'll be worth, millions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time and talking to me, and I wish you all the best, and with Dominic as well, who's over there. I'm Jim from Just Switch Play, Ottawa's video game web show. Keep on gaming, guys, and come down to the comic book shop on Bank Street and buy a lot of comics and a lot of cool gear here. So, your wallet will be empty by the time you're done. So, take care, guys. Bye.
Crazy, like for real,
Okay, and they're going to carry it and continue on.
Exactly. Yeah.
So